Let me start with a story. There was a very young man, okay, uh, in the mid 19th century AD, Michael III. Michael III was very, very young, okay, and in the past, in the previous centuries, the culture was really embedded into people's heart and blood. So a mother was actually banished from the place, and her lover, Theoctistus, was murdered. Sorry if I'm looking into the book, like some names and stuff, right? I just know the story, but the names I need to tell you guys, right? So this Michael, he was young, really young, and thus was inexperienced. Okay, didn't know much about all the royalties, how to manage the finances, how to manage people, networking, army, wars, territories. So a lot of things he didn't know, a lot of things. A young man, how much should he know, right? And now in this story with this young man Michael the Third, there are two more people who are important. First, whose name is Basilius. Basilius, I'll tell you who was he. And the next name is Bardas. Bardas. So Bardas and Basilius are the two names. Remember them. Now what happened is, this new man, this really young man, he decided that I'm the king now, okay, and I can't spend or waste my time in learning all of the skills, because then who will manage or who will look after my kingdom? What if something happened? So I needed to be in the kingdom, and looking after all of the things with the limited knowledge I have. But he had a plan. He made a friend. Okay, he made a friend a few years earlier, at a stable. And actually his friend was head of a stables, stables where the horse are kept. He was the head of the stable, and this person here, this Michael the Third, was the king of a kingdom, right, of the Byzantine Empire, Byzantine. You can search it up. So Byzantine Empire. So he was the ruler, and they both became friends, like really great friends, really deep friends. Okay, and so this young man Michael the Third thought that let's call this friend and let's make him my minister. Let's give him all of the knowledge, because he's my friend, he's that one I trust. Okay, the friend, and all of the things. And then he calls his friends, he gives him all of the pleasures, all of the royalties, all of the money, everything, all of the power. And besides that also, his studies were going on, okay, in the greatest universities, in the greatest places, the high quality education of all of the finances, army, war, everything he gave him. Okay, and then as the time passed by, this friend of Michael the Third tells Michael the Third, poisons him in fact, against his uncle. And his uncle, who was he? He was Bardas. So Bardas was Michael the Third's uncle. And so Michael's this friend tells him that, because he was still on like a lower position than the Michael, right? So he tells Michael that Bardas is planning something fishy, and he might take over you. He might do something harm to you and your kingdom, right? And so Michael gave his friend permission to go and kill Bardas, and so did happen. The Bardas was killed, and all of the army, the Bardas was the head of all of the army. So all of the army was now under the Michael's friend, and this friend is Basilius. So Basilius did this. And then now, with all of the money, all of the power, all of the pleasure, even the army, Basilius was just not the emperor, but he was more powerful, far more powerful than the Michael the Third. And of course, this young man, okay, not learned a lot, and what does he have in mind, right? So he was just upon the trust of his friend, and so one time came, his friend turned against him, and he arrested Michael the Third, and then he killed Michael the Third and assumed the throne himself. And well, it didn't happen suddenly, because once then when Michael asked Basilius for to return the money, because now Basilius was at a good position and he was earning, so Michael asked Basilius to return the money he spent on him. He refused. Basilius refused, and slowly he killed Michael, and he assumed the throne himself. This is the first story Mr. Greene, the Robert Greene, says or tells us in this book, or at the start of this chapter. So Michael the Third staked his future on the sense of gratitude he thought Basilius must feel for him. This is a very interesting psychology, because we, as a helper, we helped a lot, and we many times expect that person to feel the gratitude about us, okay, because we helped a lot, and it's not your fault, or it's not my fault, because we feel the same gratitude for that person. Okay, if someone helped us a lot, then we feel the same gratitude, obviously. So it is very natural of us to assume that the other person will feel the same way about us if we helped that person. However, in this cruel world, most of the people are so cruel, because when the times are bad, they might seem to be your friend and then take help from your end, and might even express the gratitude in the great ways, maybe surprise you, maybe bring you some gifts, maybe doing something unexpected for you, make you feel good, to show gratitude to you for all you're doing for them. But as soon as the time comes good and they feel this sense of power, they will overpower you, because people, they change. And I have learned it the very hard way. So just realize it, okay? Or else at some point, you'll find yourself helping someone in a research paper so hard, day and night. You have worked upon that, and then that person goes out and then publish that research paper, and you can't do anything, because even you have explained the entire research paper, because you both work together, and your name is nowhere on the research paper, and you can't do much, because your friendship has been falling apart, and you have erased all of your texts and messages and everything. And then who are you now? Have you ever worked on a research about pharmaceutics, being in the astronomy field? No, because where is it on the paper? Only you know, and that person know, who will never confess it. People change. So there is a great saying. Robert Greene here tells us that, Lord, protect me from my friends, I can take care of my enemies. And this is pretty good, because friends are usually the mixture of the image you form in your head. So the image you form in your head is fairly different, in fact better than the actual person. And you don't know what the actual person is, because as a friend you only see the positive side of the person. However, for an enemy, you see both the sides, often only the negative side as well, and which saves you from the enemy. And when you become friends, it keeps business aside and friendship aside, and that friendship is kind of pure, because there is no bullshit over here. But friend bullshit is a lot. While the friendship with the enemies, Robert Greene says, and I have experienced in my personal life, is based upon honesty and trust purely. The friendship with the friend based upon many other factors. How you enjoy, mainly it is based upon some temporary pleasures, and they break at times. Not at times, actually, most of the times. And then Robert Greene also explains this to us with one more story of the Chinese Empire. So in a very brief, so there was this king, and then this king came to power. Okay, this king was like somewhat not loved by his army and by his army and the soldiers and stuff, and the king knew that. So what he did, to he can't actually just fire the army and the soldiers, right? They will kill him because they could overpower him, because they were really good in numbers, right? So what he did is, he told the army, he told the soldiers that from now on you won't work for me, and I have seen you have been working so hard, so you could just take the rest, you can resign, and I will still pay you your pension, your retirement money. So what they did, they resigned and they sat at home. Obviously the emperor paid him. The money wasn't the biggest factor for the emperor, because emperor have a huge amount of money and they could pay all of them lavishly. The biggest question was emperor's life, and in this case, as the soldiers resigned, the soldiers longed for after that was money and their pleasurable lavish life with that money, and not anymore. They did not long for the life of the emperor. Then the emperor continued to rule, and then his enemy finally surrendered, and instead of killing his enemy, due to which he might have made more enemies, he kind of friend zoned the enemy. Okay, so he called that enemy, let's call this enemy Y, and our king X called Y, and he offered this drink, and then the Y was hesitant because they both were enemies before, but to celebrate this newfound friendship, they just had a drink. So he was hesitant. So X, the king who offered the enemy the drink, the king snatched or took the glass and just swallowed it himself, and so there was no poison, and then they continued to be friend. And in fact, the king, after his enemy surrendered, after Y surrendered to X, the X actually made him the head or emperor of the superior position in his kingdom. So this is how turning the friend into friends won't help you a lot, but turning enemies into friend, that friendship is kind of very straight to the point, and it's clear. You have your own boundaries into that friendship. The enemies turn into friends. You have boundaries and you have business. Also, in a speech Robert Greene gives us over here, in a speech Abraham Lincoln delivered at the height of the Civil War, he referred to the Southerners as fellow human beings who were in error. An elderly lady chastised him for not calling them irreconcilable enemies who must be destroyed. Why, madam? Lincoln replied. Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them friends? So Lincoln's thought process here does not say us to actually destroy the enemy by actually killing him or her, but Lincoln says that, do I not kill my enemies when I make them friends? Because enemies are still the man of power, because maybe your enemies has longed for your destruction. Maybe my enemy is longing for my destruction, and so he will build immense skills, immense power in order to destroy me. But if I overpower my enemy and then make him friend, I will have the best asset of all of the time. I will have access to all of those skills with certain boundaries. All of those skills, all of that power that my prior enemy had built, and now that enemy is my friend. So all of those skills he had built to destruct me, now I can use those in my favor, and in turn also return him his favor for favoring me. So it's a fair trade in that case, and a clear trade. And this clear trade could not happen when you trade with a friend, because then many things come in, and then your so-called politeness come in, so-called friendship comes in, which will destroy your trade. And then with the help of another story, Robert Greene also explains us to whom to make a friend, or how to choose who will be how to choose the enemy that will be your friend. So first he says, be certain that in the long run you will emerge victorious. Okay, so for example, if my friend destroys me, he destroys me. But if I am destroying my enemy, then I have two options: either to destroy him completely or to make him friend. So see that you are on the winning side. Only then offer a friendship to an enemy. Second, if you have no apparent enemies, you must sometimes set up a convenient target, even turning a friend into enemy. So turn friends into enemy if necessary. And the third law, or the third type, which the Robert Greene suggests, is use such enemies which you have turned into the friends in according to the second use such enemies which the friends which you have turned into enemies, to define your cause more clearly to the public, even framing it as a struggle of good against evil. To be honest, I didn't get this point much, but see if you can get it. Okay, all right. Now, as like all of the chapters, there is a reversal. Generally, it isn't the best to mix work with friendship, which usually happens if you're doing something with a friend. You don't have your boundary, you don't have anything, so your work or your business or your trade, it just becomes another mess or another play or another game. For example, from my life, one day I stayed at my friend's place in the university, in the dorm, which is like a 20 minutes walk from my home. And next day I had next day I had class, and still I agreed to study the entire night to solve mathematics the entire night, because I love math and they also need to study. And so I thought that I would also revise my mathematics. What they did is, only me and one of the friends. Then the second friend came over there, like from the above, from her room, and then to us, and then just played some songs and blah 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 blah. And then those dumb people, they then just like listened to songs all night and then sang, and then just doing some bullshit and fuck. I still get mad on that thing. And what was that then? Wastage of my time, the fucking wastage of my energy, my sleep, and my classes. Then I couldn't perform well the next day because I hadn't had sleep, and also I didn't study. So the complete guilt over me came along. That was when the stick broke, and even our friendship broke. And then I didn't talk to them. I focused on myself, my own self, alone, lonely, and I'm very proud of it. I did the right thing. So if you're doing something with the friends, something serious, please don't do it, because then you just miss all of the boundaries, which is very bad for your progress or your growth. And that's why I call my network a network, or business partners, because then the name itself sets the boundary that when we are enjoying, we'll enjoy at our fullest, but when we are working, we are not friends anymore. You don't know me, I don't know you, we are professionals. That's what the true thing is. Or you can, and also like me, you can have like that one person with whom you'll never do your business. Never, ever, never, ever, never, ever. But just some recreational things and building the bond. That's it. However, Robert Greene also suggests that that working with friend often might seem good because powerful people have some dirty business to do. And in that case, an enemy is obviously not even the last option. It's not an option at all, right? Because that's your vulnerable side. So when you're working from your vulnerable side, see which friend is better, only to whom you know, whom you knew, and then employ that friend, and that friend will do it for you without judging you because he or she is your friend. So obviously make such valuable friends, very few but valuable, all right, for such days. And these businesses who should be done into the dark and which actually shows your vulnerable side up, in those cases use friends. That is it. However, sometimes the friendship with your true friends, okay, the true friends would not only just love bomb you, okay, like appreciate you everything. No, no, no. You guys discuss business together, discuss progress together, do progress together. You guys are good friends and you know your boundaries. So when it's work, it's work. When it's play, it's play. I have had few friends like that, and it has been an amazing experience. Okay, many friends like Mark Zuckerberg and his friend Eduardo, they built Facebook. He did business. He started a huge business with his friend. It went well, right? Because that friendship knew the boundaries when it's time to work and then when it's time to enjoy and have pleasure. So working with such friends will obviously be very helpful. And it also depends on your personality. How are you treating your friend? If you're treating your friend with the flow, then you'll get destroyed with the flow. But if you are establishing those boundaries, and if you are serious on your goals, and you show that friend that, my friend, I love you, but when it's work, it's only work, or else I will not think twice leaving you behind. That friendship cultivates two things: a great friendship and a really good respect in that friend's eye for you. Alright, I think with that we are done. See you with the third chapter later. Bye. And obviously subscribe because you'll get better, and subscribe because I'm the most powerful. Alright, bye.